Welcome, Divine. I hope you guys can see me. There's a lot of sunlight out here. I am completely in the trees. And I see the sun piercing through, so it just is really flaming on me. And the birds are going. But we're gonna go ahead and go with this video. We're gonna put it on out there. At this point in time, you are recognizing where and how those spiritual psychic gifts are developed. They're developed in the unique way of being able to see behind the veil. What is that? Truth. No matter what's presented in the physical, you can still see truth. That happens by becoming truth, being a vessel of truth. Then you begin to witness truth. Then it doesn't matter how anyone or anything shows up in the physical, you are fully aware of what's going on. You can follow your divine guidance. So you'll know the proper decisions to make with each and every person. I love your emails. I love your comments. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. They are confirming exactly where we are. So you learned a lot of this in various ways. Now I have to put it out there. One of the ways that you guys have learned that you probably didn't recognize it is where you were placed. Where you were placed when it came to where you were working. Before you decided that, well, I'm not gonna say decided, but before you had that awakening moment, those tap, tap, taps, you are more than a physical body. You are definitely a soul that's beaming big and loud. Many of you recognize that where you were working. So if you worked in any field, and you know my history is that counseling, psychology background. So it was clear for me for a long time that people would come to me and they would talk to me. And I knew one version of people, and the rest of the people in the world knew an entirely different version of that very same person. Many of you began seeing behind the veil just then. Not only that, we can even break it down to other types of careers and pathways. Many of you guys from the military history, you are aware that there's one way that the civilians see life, and there's another way of things that's going on behind the scenes. Any of those fields where you were kind of sworn to that privacy and secrecy as to the truth of who a person is, because we're in a structure on earth in which that can't be up front. You began seeing behind the veil systematically, so that now while you're in this experience, you aren't overwhelmed by the fact that a person is appearing one way, but seemingly beneath there is another being, there is another intention that might be happening. So you guys are recognizing that big time. The senses are open. I told you guys we were going to combine everything, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So you'll get more and more of the spiritual psychic gifts as we go along. And you're going to get some unique things. What did you guys learn today? You know, the more that we know, the higher we go. But it's what we know. Did you know that whenever we sit and we look at quantum theory, that it is based on the component of, what component? What component? That whenever you are observing the state of something, it doesn't change form. Why? Because you hold a perceptual base in the way that you see it. So sometimes there has to be a removal of your view in order for whatever that thing is to turn around, change form, become what you desire, become what you're praying for, become that affirmation that you put out into the earth. Yeah. Which brings me right on in to one of the reports that we are talking about, which is the divine masculine energy. You guys can click down below. That full reading on the divine masculine is uploaded. That thing is almost an hour long, 50 something minutes is what that reading is. It goes into some specific details about the divine masculine energy that we have going on right now. If you have already purchased that 333 bundle of all the extended readings that we had coming in within the end of April, and remember, they are predictions, which means that they're happening now. And I'm getting your comments and I'm getting your emails. They're happening now because we have this unique way of putting it out there so the divine knows ahead of time. Why do you know ahead of time? So you know how to move. You know what to do. It's a way of lighting things up for you. It's giving you the advantage. Why? Because you're the divine and you're supposed to have the advantage. So if you've already purchased that, guess what? The reading and the extended for this month is right in there. Just log in and check out your reading. It is right there available to you, no additional. If you haven't, pay your $333 and you will have access to the divine feminine, the divine karmic, the divine masculine, spiritual psychic gifts. You will have access to all of that in the bundle below. And you will have the full reading that we're talking about with the divine masculine energy. Did you know that the divine masculine had no idea that they could make a decision? A peaceful decision in which they are certain about? That they were really just making decisions according to addictive matters. Addictive? Yeah. Because anything that you're not tapped into within your divine guidance, which is that heart center within yourself and knowing that it is the best decision for you, divinely guided, then it is developed off of what is obtainable for the physical body or the 3D structures that we have here on earth, which means that it is based a lot out of addiction. Why? Because if you're not divinely connected to something, if you're not divinely guided to something, then in order to keep you coming back to it, then you have to get hooked on it. Which is why we have so many slavery templates going on right now in the earth. So if you have to be hooked on it, it's hooked on work, hooked on sex, hooked on money, hooked on drugs, hooked on attention, hooked on validation, hooked on so many different things to keep you coming back. Why? Because you're not connected to that thing from your heart center. You're not divinely connected to it, which is what has happened with many of the relationships that are folding right now. Did you guys know that it is Saturn retrograde effective today? Do you know what that means? Get your house in order. Why is it get your house in order? It's get your house in order because Saturn in retrograde, and this is going all the way into, what is my date? September the 18th is what is coming to me. Verify for sure. So what is coming up within that is that during this time period that you guys are able to get serious about some things that you want to go down in your life. And when I say get serious about it, it's like not only just thinking it, not only saying it, you are able to lay down the foundations for many of the things that you are wanting to happen right now. You have the energy pool that is working with you to really get in there and handle your business. Now, guess what else? All the readings that we've had up before, and especially that update that I gave you on the karmic, I said, beware, towers are falling. Guess what Saturn retrograde is about? Karma. That good karma and that bad karma is being served right now into September 18th on a heightened level, because that's what Saturn retrograde is bringing in. So it's good for the divine because there's so many good karmic rewards that are coming in just because of the natural heart placement of the divine. So that's also the predictions that you received in the readings that have told you that gifting is coming your way, and that those in which who held you at that that lower is getting ready to catapult you and be a footstool to lift you up. And people are going to recognize that. People are going to recognize that. You will get the gifts, you will get the good karmic rewards if you're open to receiving it. So allow yourself to receive right now. This is a beautiful time to receive because it is laid up for you. If you've laid any good karma out, which that's one of the signatures of the divine, then it is ready for you right now, ready for you to receive so many from unexpected places, new places, old places, all kinds of types of places. So this is a good time for you. This summer is gonna be rocking for the divine. Now, when I mentioned also that those towers would be in place, those who have set out that bad karma, you know, I hear the birds chirping. We hit it. Those who have set out that bad karma, yes, birds, they are receiving that right now. It is for the divine to get out of the way. Get out of the way because it is important. Some of you have already experienced that. That is still going on. It is still going on to get out of the way and to allow the transition of those souls, which brings us right into the thick of that divine masculine reading that you can click on below. Check out the preview. The preview is down there for free. So you can log in, use whatever name you want to use. You don't have to use your government name. You can log right in, use whatever name you want to use. Check out the preview. It is free to you. Check out the preview. It's free to you. The divine is here with us. We know that because everything is rising within right now within this video, and we just move on forward because that is a way that you are aware of who you are, and it's how you press on forward through it. So you're able to check those videos out regardless whether or not you pay the $3.33, in which you will receive a bundle. You hear? So you're able to still check out the free preview before. Go ahead. You want to see that reading. Why do you want to see that reading? Because it's so much in it. It's like what I talked about before, about within quantum theory, and that the observation does not allow the state of a thing to change because of the power within us as individuals and the perception that we hold. So it starts out in the separation period of the divine masculine energy. And what that brought about, I'm talking hurtful lover. I'm talking that hot and cold withdrawal behavior. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Money all backwards, upside down. Doing too much here, doing less there. It was showing how the divine masculine energy is aligning to things. And this is for those feminine dominants with that divine masculine energy inside of you and those dominant divine masculine energies. It's very important. So what they recognized is that they weren't aligning. They weren't aligning to the divine when it came to making decisions about anything. They are in that 4D perceptional place within the mental plane. So it is really getting to the truth of things in the mental plane, the transition to be able to handle the spiritual things, which rest all in truth. So they're really seeing that the decisions that they made weren't based off of divine guidance and connection. So they're really developing appreciation for divine guidance right now. So it's no longer, dang, I messed up, dang, I'm not getting what I want, but dang, let me follow this divine guidance so I can always make sure I'm lining up with the things that are best for me and what I want. That's what the divine masculine energy is doing right now. And I mean, they are doing it on supercharge. It shows that separation. It shows that aligning to the divine. And what you will recognize is that many of your divine masculine energies are showing up differently. differently than the way they were before. The way that they connected to anything was through attachment of some form of addiction, through some programming that was allowing them to show up. Now you will recognize that that divine masculine energy is going to start saying things and you're like, whoa, that sounds like me. Whoa, you're doing something that seems like me. Well, that's exactly what this energy is about. There is a trading that is happening right now, but it's not a trading of spaces. It is an honoring of the divine that is happening strongly within the divine masculine energy, which is the union within those energies within self and the union of energies of two people with a dominant masculine and a dominant feminine, that they're able to come together and unionize in the physical that's been wanted. The reason why this is happening so heavy is because the divine masculine energy is aligning to the divine and making those big decisions that they've always followed the masses on. The majority of people in the world tell people how they work. They tell people how they are to live. They tell people how they should feel about everything. And the divine masculine energy right now is saying, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Let me determine what is best for me by connecting to my divine internal guidance system. And now they are also being lifted up into a different energetic space, which means that they are now looking for things that match that divinely guided space. And that is why the divine masculine energy heavy right now in the world is looking for that divine feminine energy. They want that positivity. They want people in their lives who can also align with the divine in the way that they have discovered that they're aligning with the divine. They want to be around people who feel as good as the divine makes them feel when they align with the divine. They also want to be around situations that feel like certainty and peace. The divine masculine has recognized that they can make decisions in their life and that they can align and do things from a place of clarity and peace. That they can connect with their divine center and know exactly what it is that they're to do. Yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful time for the divine masculine energy. That reading is on it. I even brought out some Uno cards and put it in that reading. I just got all into it. It is so good. When I tell you that mental space within the divine masculine is unionizing, so it is really going to take care of that hot and cold. They're recognizing why they were so fickle on their decisions. It is really hitting home. We've predicted a lot of this, but you are really getting ready to see it in that reading below on the divine masculine as to really what's going down. You guys are doing it out here. You're doing it out here. Hold yourself steady. Keep the faith. This is a believer's journey. That's what the divine masculine just recognized. That they don't go up the rough side of the mountain anymore to climb it over. That they fly over it like a bird. Yes, absolutely. Connecting to their divine nature and making an easier route, an easier transition than they've had before. This is beautiful. The divine masculine energy is discovering that they can fly in life. This is also wonderful for the divine feminine dominance, because what that means is that if the divine masculine energy within yourself is aligning and growing in the capacity that the dominant divine masculine energy is, then you are taking off in many areas of your life that you have held separate from your divine nature. So it's almost like that feminine can be very, very spiritual and follow divine, but then that masculine side of you, that other side of you, oh, we got to do things by the book. We have to do it this way. And now you're understanding that union within yourself is allowing you to be guided by the divine in many, many ways. This is a beautiful time for both the divine feminine and divine masculine dominance, because it also allows them a position to come together. What within that three-strand cord? What is that third cord? The divine. If both of them are aligning with the divine, then it is an easy route to each other. The golden mission is union. Union within self, then union with others. See you guys soon. We have a Divine Feminine reading brewing.